Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? Well, I got a 2012 Chevy Malibu, and a customer came in and said they have a check engine light on and a traction control light on, and they need to get the car inspected. They went somewhere and had it scanned, and they came up with a single code, a mass air code. I don't know who does Fix Finder, if it's one of the parts stores, but the code that they came up with was just, all it says is mass airflow sensor. Suggested parts, mass airflow sensor. All right, well, let's scan it and see what's going on. The traction control light is more than likely, but not necessarily, from the check engine light. So I got the scanner hooked up. Let's see what we got here. I already looked at this quickly, so I found something interesting. I didn't do anything yet because I want to see what the actual reasoning is. So here we are with the scanner. And we're going to go to read fault code. DTC display. There's actually three codes. Mass air sensor, low frequency. Intake air temperature sensor, that's an important one. High voltage. Exhaust cam position sensor. I'm not quite worried about that yet. I'm more worried about these two. Why is that important, the high voltage? Well, the high voltage means that voltage is going in, but it's not going anywhere. If it said voltage low, then usually that means that the voltage side is grounded somewhere. Okay, so, all right. Low frequency, like it's not doing anything. So let's go back real quick and let's read data stream. Let's just go to induction data. And we're going to go to, I want to find intake air temperature. There we go. Okay. Negative 40 degrees. Well, guess what? It's not negative 40 degrees. In the shop, it's 81. What does negative 40 degrees mean? If you disconnect normally, if you disconnect a sensor, a temperature type sensor, it'll default to negative numbers. If you short them together, they'll default to a higher number, like 312 or something along those lines. So, we have mass air, and we have intake air temperature. The intake air temperature is part of the mass air. Okay. What does this all mean? Let's find out. I'm gonna shut this thing down, and we're gonna go underneath the hood, and I'm gonna show you what I found. Like I said, I haven't touched anything. I just went underneath the hood. So, let's see what we got. All right, let's come underneath the hood here. And, pink. It's not connected. Well, why is it not connected? I don't know. Somebody go to check the air filter, disconnect it to like lift the housing up and then forget to plug it back in? Or was it running terribly and somebody disconnected it? Because what happens is if you disconnect it, it goes to a default reading. Like you saw, the negative 40 degrees, and then whatever the mass air is supposed to read, it'll go to a defaulted number. So this way the car will actually run and you don't get stranded with it. Because if the number, if it's reading really out of whack, the car might not even run to the point where you can drive it. So let's see if I can actually hook this back up and then see what happens. All right, so the connector's down here. All we're gonna do is we're gonna plug it in. So now, I'm gonna leave the hood open for right at the moment. Let's come back inside. Let me flow into this vehicle. Let me shut that light off. Okay, I'm gonna start the car back up. Now, of course, it's gonna have a check engine light in that. But, let's see. Let's go back to induction data. I should have probably showed you like what the airflow is actually reading, because it wasn't reading anything. It was kind of stuck at 0. All right, intake is still lit up. All right, 120 degrees. So that's kind of right. That's basically engine temperature. Let's clear the codes and see what happens. I'm really thinking somebody went and checked the air filter and did that. Funny thing is, now the traction control light is no longer lit. So let me just see. Yeah, this thing's got 138,700 miles on it. Let's go back. Let's clear fault codes. Yes. It cleared. Okay, let's read fault codes. No trouble codes. All right, I'm gonna take this thing for a ride in a little bit. I'm the only one in the shop. Maybe I'll just go up the street real quick and then turn around and come back. If that's the only issue, if this car runs fine, I'm just gonna give it back to the customer and say, hey, this is what we found. Somebody had disconnected it for whatever reason. Maybe someone checked the air filter and forgot to plug it back in. I'm not gonna charge them for that. I know a lot of you are gonna say, oh, you gotta charge something. No, I don't have to charge something. It's a courtesy, and I find doing something like this is a courtesy, something that really was a very simple repair. Really, what I do, plug the connector back in. Something like that reaps benefits down the road. I don't need to collect $50, $100 now. It will reap benefits down the road because I'll have a customer who's like, wow, this guy's honest, and they come back to me. So that's the reason I don't charge for stuff like this. So let's take it for a ride, because I'm not even 100% positive it's going to be okay, but we're going to find out. Oh, the other odd thing too is this thing had a security light on. It was on right over here. That actually went out too. I don't know if you saw it in the video. I don't know if I showed that. All right, let's go for a ride, see what happens. All right, so it runs absolutely fine. There is no issue with the way this thing's running. So I'm gonna just call the customer back and see when did the light come on? What happened? What caused the light to come on? Were they at a shop for service? Were they checking the air filter? Maybe anything's possible. I don't know. But I'm gonna find that out. But other than that, the car, like I said, runs absolutely fine. Runs like it's supposed to. So let me find that out, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, sounds good. Okay, so weird thing is, she said she was driving it, and that's when the check engine light and traction control light came on. She did say that prior repair was a radiator replacement, so did somebody maybe have that apart and never plug that fully in, and it just happened to fall out? I don't know, but that's the story I got, that it just came on while she was driving. So anyway, that's it. She actually already picked up the car. So, all right. You can't always assume what's wrong with a car. That's for sure. Sometimes it's what you don't think it's going to be. But all right. Hopefully you got something out of that video. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, guys. Have a great day. Keep wrenching.